What if I told you the bread you had this morning, the honey you drizzle on your toast, or the wine you pour on special occasions are not just everyday items but pieces of living history? These humble staples aren't just food, they're time capsules, holding stories of ancient civilizations, survival, and human ingenuity. In today's video, we're uncovering the secrets of the 5 oldest foods in history that we still eat today. From loaves of bread baked in the hearts of ancient Mesopotamia to cheese crafted by mistake thousands of years ago, each of these foods has a tale so rich and intriguing, you'll never see your plate the same way again. Are you ready to take a bite out of history? Food, after all, is much more than sustenance. It's a link to our past. These ancient edibles have outlasted wars, plagues, and the rise and fall of empires. They've crossed oceans, bridged continents, and adapted to changing tastes and technologies. But why have these particular foods endured when so many others have been lost to time? The answer lies not just in their flavors, but in their resilience, cultural significance, and the sheer genius of the people who created them. These are foods born out of necessity, shaped by tradition, and elevated by innovation. Take bread, for example. It's often said that bread is the staff of life, and for good reason. The origins of bread date back over 12,000 years, to when ancient humans first discovered how to grind grains into flour. What began as a simple, unleavened flatbread eventually gave rise to a global phenomenon, each culture adding its unique twist. From Egyptian flatbreads to French baguettes and sourdough revival trends today, bread's story is one of transformation and endurance. Then there's honey, often called the nectar of the gods. Did you know that archaeologists discovered jars of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are over 3,000 years old and still edible? Honey's magical longevity isn't just due to its divine taste, it's also because of its unique chemical composition, which prevents spoilage. For centuries, honey was more than a sweetener. It was medicine, currency, and even a sacred offering to the gods. Its story takes us through cultures and continents, from the sacred texts of India to the culinary traditions of Greece. And what about lentils? These tiny legumes pack a huge historical punch. Lentils were among the first crops ever cultivated by humans, with records of their use dating back over 10,000 years to the Fertile Crescent. They've been a symbol of sustenance and simplicity, feeding everyone from farmers in ancient Mesopotamia to monks in medieval Europe. Lentils are a testament to how ancient foods can be both humble and mighty, a true staple that has endured the test of time. Wine, too, carries a rich and intoxicating history. Imagine sipping a glass of red wine and realizing that you're partaking in a tradition that dates back over 8,000 years to the foothills of Georgia. Wine was more than a drink in ancient times. It was a symbol of status, an offering to the gods, and a key ingredient in social rituals. From ancient amphorae to modern vineyards, the story of wine is one of craftsmanship and celebration. Finally, cheese, the delicious result of a happy accident thousands of years ago. Ancient herders storing milk in animal stomachs discovered that enzymes could transform liquid milk into a solid, tangy treat. From this discovery came a food that transcended borders, evolving into countless varieties, from Parmesan to Brie, all with roots in this ancient innovation. Cheese is a perfect example of how curiosity and necessity can lead to timeless culinary masterpieces. These 5 foods aren't just meals on your table, they're chapters of human history, testaments to our creativity and adaptability. They connect us to our ancestors and show how the essence of food goes far beyond flavor. Each bite is a story, and as we explore the origins and evolution of these foods, you'll see how they've shaped not just our diets, but our cultures, traditions, and identities. So grab a seat, get comfortable, and join us as we journey through time to uncover the stories of the 5 oldest foods we still savor today. Let's dig in. Bread. When we think of bread, we often imagine something warm and comforting, a staple of meals across the world. But bread's story begins long before the advent of modern bakeries or even agriculture as we know it. To trace its origins, we journey back approximately 12,000 years to ancient Mesopotamia, where bread was first born in the fertile valleys of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Here, in what historians call the cradle of civilization, early humans made one of the most transformative discoveries in history: the domestication of grains. In those early days, bread wasn't the fluffy leavened delight we enjoy today. It began as a simple, unleavened flatbread, a mixture of wild grain flour and water, baked over hot stones or in primitive clay ovens. Archaeological evidence reveals that hunter-gatherers were experimenting with grinding grains into flour long before organized farming took hold. In fact, some of the oldest grinding tools found in Jordan date back over 14,000 years, indicating that our ancestors were already on the path to creating what would become one of humanity's most enduring foods. The discovery of bread-making techniques revolutionized how humans interacted with food. The first major leap came with the cultivation of wild wheat and barley. These grains were hardy, plentiful, and provided a reliable source of sustenance. By trial and error, early bakers learned that dough left out in the open air would ferment naturally, thanks to wild yeast in the environment. This fermentation process created bubbles in the dough, resulting in a lighter, more palatable bread. Thus, the concept of leavening was born, a game changer that set bread apart from other ancient foods. Fast forward a few thousand years and we arrive at ancient Egypt, where bread had evolved into a cornerstone of civilization. Egyptians refined the art of bread making, creating a variety of loaves tailored to different social classes. The wealthy feasted on bread made with finely ground flour, while the poor relied on coarser, darker varieties. Egyptians also introduced the practice of using enclosed ovens, which allowed for more consistent baking. Bread wasn't just food. It was currency, a religious offering, and a symbol of life itself. Hieroglyphs and tomb paintings vividly depict scenes of bread making, underscoring its significance in Egyptian culture. As empires rose and fell, bread spread across continents, adapting to local tastes and resources. In ancient Rome, for example, the introduction of mills allowed for the mass production of bread, transforming it from a household activity to a commercial enterprise. Roman bakeries became central to urban life, providing bread for the bustling population. The Romans even introduced regulations to ensure the availability of bread during times of scarcity, cementing its role as a vital resource for society. During the Middle Ages, bread continued to evolve, intertwining with religious and cultural practices. In medieval Europe, the quality and type of bread often reflected one's social status. The wealthy enjoyed fine white bread, while the lower classes subsisted on rye or barley loaves. Bread also played a deeply spiritual role, symbolizing the body of Christ in Christian Eucharist ceremonies. In many ways, bread was seen as a gift from God, a sacred sustenance that carried profound meaning. By the time of the Industrial Revolution, bread was transformed yet again. Mechanized processes made bread more accessible to the masses, and new techniques introduced the concept of pre-sliced loaves, a novelty at the time. Today, bread exists in countless forms, from artisan sourdoughs and ciabatta to mass-produced supermarket loaves. Despite these changes, the fundamental essence of bread, a simple mixture of flour, water, and yeast, remains unchanged. It's a testament to the ingenuity of our ancestors that such a basic combination has stood the test of time. Beyond its physical form, bread carries immense cultural significance. It's a symbol of community and sharing, often breaking down barriers between people. In times of celebration, bread is braided into intricate shapes, as seen in Jewish challah or Greek soureki. In times of hardship, it becomes a lifeline, a humble yet powerful reminder of resilience. Whether it's the flatbreads of India, the baguettes of France, or the tortillas of Mexico, bread connects us all, transcending borders and cultures. Bread's story is a journey through human history, innovation, and survival. From the rudimentary loaves of ancient Mesopotamia to the sophisticated varieties we enjoy today, bread has evolved alongside us, adapting to our changing needs and tastes. Its enduring presence in our diets is a tribute to its versatility and importance. But more than that, it's a symbol of life itself, a food that sustains, nourishes, and unites. The next time you tear into a piece of bread, remember, you're partaking in a tradition as old as civilization itself, a connection to the ingenuity and creativity of our ancestors. Honey. Honey isn't just a sweet treat. It's a marvel of nature, a substance so extraordinary that it was once considered sacred by ancient civilizations. Archaeologists have discovered jars of honey in Egyptian tombs that are over 3,000 years old and still perfectly edible. This incredible preservation quality isn't just a coincidence. It's a testament to honey's unique chemical composition, which prevents spoilage and makes it one of the longest-lasting foods known to humanity. The story of honey begins with the honeybee, one of nature's most industrious creatures. Long before humans existed, bees were producing honey as their primary food source. But it wasn't until early humans started foraging for wild honey that it became part of our history. Cave paintings in Spain, dating back over 8,000 years, depict humans harvesting honeycombs from high cliffs, a dangerous endeavor that speaks to the value of this golden treasure. As civilizations developed, honey took on roles far beyond mere sustenance. In ancient Egypt, honey was so highly prized that it was often used as currency and a sacred offering to the gods. Egyptians believed honey had divine origins, and they used it in religious rituals, embalming practices, and even as medicine. Recipes for honey-based remedies can be found in ancient texts like the Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest medical documents known. Meanwhile, in ancient Greece, honey was associated with the gods themselves. The Greeks believed that honey was a gift from Zeus, and they used it in religious ceremonies and offerings. Honey also played a crucial role in Greek cuisine and medicine, with Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, recommending it as a remedy for wounds and illnesses. The Greeks' love for honey even extended to their mythology, where it was said that the infant Zeus was fed on honey and milk. In India, honey's significance is deeply embedded in the texts of Ayurveda, the ancient system of medicine. Honey is described as a healing elixir used to balance the body's energies and treat a wide range of ailments. It was also a key ingredient in traditional Indian recipes and a symbol of prosperity and fertility in rituals and ceremonies. What makes honey so remarkable is its longevity. Unlike most foods, honey never spoils when stored properly. Its high sugar content, low water activity, and natural acidity create an environment inhospitable to bacteria and microorganisms. These properties allowed honey to become a vital resource for ancient travelers and explorers who carried it as a portable, non-perishable source of energy. Soldiers in ancient armies often used honey as a survival food, knowing it could sustain them through long campaigns. Honey's preservative qualities also made it an excellent medium for storing other foods. In ancient Greece and Rome, fruits and nuts were often submerged in honey to extend their shelf life, creating the forerunner to today's jams and preserves. This ability to preserve not just itself but other foods made honey invaluable in societies where refrigeration was centuries away. Throughout history, honey has held deep cultural and symbolic meanings. It has been seen as a symbol of abundance, fertility, and sweetness in life. In Jewish tradition, honey is a key part of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, where apples dipped in honey symbolize hopes for a sweet year ahead. Similarly, in many cultures, honey is included in wedding ceremonies and rituals to signify the sweetness of marital life. Even in its simplest form, honey represents a connection to nature and the cycles of life. The process of bees gathering nectar, turning it into honey, and storing it in hives is a reminder of nature's intricate balance and productivity. For centuries, honey has been a source of wonder and inspiration for poets, artists, and thinkers, symbolizing everything from divine blessings to human ingenuity. Today, honey remains as beloved as ever, not just for its sweetness, but also for its health benefits and versatility. From drizzling it over pancakes to using it as a natural remedy for coughs, honey has found its way into kitchens and medicine cabinets worldwide. Modern science continues to uncover the incredible properties of honey, confirming what ancient civilizations knew all along, that it's more than just food. It's a miracle of nature. As you taste honey, you're experiencing something that has connected humans to nature for thousands of years. It's a direct link to the past, a reminder of our ancestors' ingenuity and appreciation for the natural world. Whether it's the honey of ancient Egypt, The golden elixir of Greek mythology or the healing nectar of Ayurveda, honey's story is as sweet and enduring as its flavor. Lentils. Lentils may be small, but their historical significance is anything but. These humble legumes are among the first crops ever cultivated by humans, with evidence of their use dating back more than 10,000 years to the Fertile Crescent, a region encompassing modern-day Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, and Jordan. In this cradle of agriculture, lentils weren't just a source of sustenance. They were a cornerstone of survival, shaping early human diets and cultures in profound ways. Long before the dawn of civilization, ancient hunter-gatherers stumbled upon wild lentil plants and recognized their potential as a reliable food source. Unlike many other crops, lentils are easy to grow and thrive in poor soil conditions, making them an ideal candidate for early agricultural experiments. Archaeological evidence from sites like Jericho and Tel Aswad reveals lentil seeds preserved from as far back as 8000 BCE, offering a glimpse into humanity's earliest efforts at farming. What made lentils so appealing to ancient farmers was their exceptional nutritional value. Packed with protein, fiber, and essential nutrients, lentils provided a dense, energy-rich food source that was easy to store and transport. In a time when survival depended on reliable, storable foods, lentils were nothing short of a miracle. As agriculture spread, so did lentils, becoming a dietary staple in ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley. In Mesopotamia, lentils were a common ingredient in stews, often paired with barley to create hearty, nourishing meals. Tablets from the ancient city of Ur mention lentils as part of temple offerings, underscoring their importance in both daily life and religious practices. In Egypt, lentils were so valued that they were included in tomb provisions for the afterlife. Archaeologists have found lentil seeds in the tombs of pharaohs, alongside bread and beer, suggesting that lentils were considered essential for sustaining the soul in the journey beyond. They were also depicted in hieroglyphs, indicating their prominence in Egyptian agriculture and cuisine. Meanwhile, in the Indus Valley, lentils were a staple food and a key trade commodity. They played a central role in the region's vegetarian cuisine, which continues to this day. Ancient texts from India, including the Rig Veda, mention lentils as an important dietary component, highlighting their deep cultural and religious significance. Lentils have long been associated with simplicity, humility, and sustenance. In the Bible, the story of Esau selling his birthright to Jacob for a bowl of lentil stew is a testament to their enduring presence in human history. This tale not only underscores lentils' importance as a food source, but also their symbolic role in stories of sacrifice and survival. In many religions, lentils are seen as a humble yet sacred food. In Hinduism, lentils are a key part of prasadam, offerings made to deities, and are considered pure and nourishing. Similarly, in Jewish traditions, lentils symbolize mourning and are often served at times of grief, representing the cycle of life and death. One of the most remarkable aspects of lentils is their role in sustainable agriculture. Lentil plants are nitrogen fixers, meaning they enrich the soil by converting atmospheric nitrogen into a form that plants can use. This makes them invaluable in crop rotation systems, where they help rejuvenate the land for future harvests. Ancient farmers may not have understood the science behind this process, but they recognized that planting lentils improved the overall health of their fields. Today, lentils remain a global dietary staple, especially in regions like South Asia, the Middle East, and North Africa. They've become synonymous with dishes like Indian dal, Middle Eastern mujadara, and Ethiopian misir waqt. Each of these recipes reflects centuries of culinary tradition and cultural identity. Modern science has further validated what ancient civilizations knew all along. Lentils are a nutritional powerhouse. Their high protein content makes them a vital source of nutrition for vegetarians and vegans, while their low glycemic index has made them popular among health-conscious eaters worldwide. As climate change challenges global food security, lentils are also gaining recognition as a sustainable and resilient crop, capable of feeding growing populations with minimal environmental impact. Lentils' longevity in human history is a testament to their versatility and importance. From the ancient fields of the Fertile Crescent to modern supermarket shelves, lentils have remained a reliable, nourishing, and culturally significant food. They remind us that sometimes the simplest things can have the greatest impact. Every time you scoop a spoonful of lentil soup or enjoy a plate of dal, you're participating in a tradition that stretches back millennia, a connection to our shared human heritage. Wine. Wine, the cherished drink of celebrations, spirituality, and companionship, has a history that stretches back thousands of years. Long before it graced dinner tables or became the centerpiece of social gatherings, wine was a symbol of innovation, artistry, and cultural connection. Its origins trace back over 8,000 years to the verdant hills of modern-day Georgia, where the first evidence of winemaking was discovered in ancient clay vessels. The story of wine begins with a simple yet profound realization. The juice of crushed grapes, when left exposed to air, undergoes a natural transformation. Early humans may have stumbled upon this process by accident, but what they uncovered was revolutionary. Archaeological findings in Georgia reveal clay jars, or orfevres, containing residue of fermented grape juice dating back to around 6000 BCE. These early vessels were ingeniously designed with pointed bases for burying in the earth to maintain a consistent temperature during fermentation. The discovery of winemaking marked a significant turning point in human history. Wine was more than a drink. It became a symbol of innovation and community. It brought people together, fostering social bonds and cultural exchange. The process of making wine also required collaboration, from cultivating vineyards to perfecting fermentation techniques, reflecting the collective ingenuity of ancient societies. As winemaking spread, it found a place of honor in the great civilizations of the ancient world. In Egypt, wine was reserved for the elite and was often included in burial rituals. Pharaohs were entombed with jars of wine, believed to provide sustenance in the afterlife. Hieroglyphs and tomb paintings depict elaborate winemaking scenes, showcasing its significance in Egyptian culture. In Mesopotamia, wine was equally prized. Clay tablets from Sumer detail wine trade routes and records of its consumption among the ruling class. As trade expanded, wine became a sought-after commodity, exchanged between empires and establishing a flourishing wine culture. The Greeks, however, elevated wine to an art form. To them, wine was a gift from Dionysus, the god of wine, fertility, and festivity. Greek symposiums, intellectual and social gatherings, centered around wine, where it was consumed while discussing philosophy, politics, and poetry. The Greeks also introduced the concept of mixing wine with water, a practice that became a marker of sophistication and moderation. The Romans took wine culture to even greater heights, perfecting viticulture and spreading vineyards across their vast empire. Roman innovations in wine storage and transport, such as the use of barrels, laid the foundation for the modern wine industry. For Romans, wine was an essential part of daily life, accessible to all social classes and consumed during meals, religious ceremonies, and public events. Wine's spiritual significance transcends cultures and religions. In Christianity, wine is a central element of the Eucharist, symbolizing the blood of Christ and fostering a sense of communion among believers. Similarly, in Judaism, wine is a key component of rituals like the Kiddush, a blessing recited over wine to sanctify the Sabbath and holidays. In ancient cultures, wine was often associated with divine blessings and cosmic forces. The Greeks celebrated Dionysian festivals with wine-laden revelries, viewing it as a bridge between mortals and the divine. For the Romans, Bacchus, the god of wine and pleasure, embodied the joyous and liberating spirit of wine. Wine's journey through history has been one of adaptation and refinement. During the Middle Ages, monasteries became centers of winemaking, preserving the art and advancing techniques that improved its quality. Monks in Burgundy, France, and Tuscany, Italy, meticulously cultivated vineyards, developing some of the most renowned wine regions in the world. The Renaissance era saw wine emerge as a cultural symbol, celebrated in art, literature, and music. It became a mark of sophistication and luxury, favored by aristocrats and royalty. With the age of exploration, wine traveled across oceans, establishing vineyards in new lands like South Africa, the Americas, and Australia. The Industrial Revolution ushered in modern winemaking practices, with innovations like cork closures, glass bottles, and temperature-controlled fermentation. These advancements democratized wine, making it accessible to a broader audience while preserving its quality. Today, wine is a global phenomenon, enjoyed in nearly every corner of the world. Each bottle tells a story, reflecting the terroir, the unique combination of soil, climate, and tradition that shapes its flavor. From robust reds to crisp whites and sparkling varieties, wine offers an infinite spectrum of tastes and experiences. Wine tourism has also flourished, inviting enthusiasts to explore vineyards and wineries, deepening their connection to the history and artistry of winemaking. Modern technology continues to push the boundaries of wine production, with sustainable practices and innovative techniques preserving the heritage of wine while embracing the future. Wine's enduring appeal lies not just in its flavor, but in its ability to connect us to the past, to the land, and to one another. When you raise a glass of wine, you're participating in a tradition that spans millennia, one that has shaped cultures, fostered creativity, and brought people together in celebration. Whether it's a simple table wine or a vintage masterpiece, every sip is a toast to the ingenuity and artistry of humanity. Cheese. Cheese is a testament to human ingenuity, a delectable creation born from curiosity, experimentation, and perhaps a little bit of luck. Its origins can be traced back approximately 8,000 years to the early days of animal domestication. Long before refrigeration or modern preservation techniques, our ancestors discovered that milk, when left in the right conditions, transformed into something extraordinary: cheese. The birth of cheese likely began with a happy accident. In ancient times, milk was transported in animal stomachs, which were commonly used as containers due to their availability and natural waterproof properties. Unbeknownst to early herders, these stomachs contained rennet, an enzyme that causes milk to coagulate. As milk sloshed around during transportation, it curdled, separating into solid curds and liquid whey. What could have been discarded as spoiled milk was instead tasted, and the world of cheese was born. This discovery marked the beginning of a culinary revolution. Cheese was not only a way to extend the shelf life of milk, but it also offered a more portable, nutrient-dense food source. It didn't take long for ancient societies to embrace this newfound delicacy, experimenting with different methods of aging, flavoring, and storing cheese. Cheese quickly spread across ancient civilizations, becoming a dietary staple and a symbol of resourcefulness. In Mesopotamia, Sumerian texts from around 3000 BCE mentioned cheese as part of temple offerings and a valuable commodity in trade. The Sumerians even developed basic recipes for making cheese, showcasing their advanced knowledge of food preservation. In ancient Egypt, cheese was a luxury enjoyed by the elite. Depictions of cheese-making can be found in tomb paintings, illustrating how milk was curdled, drained, and pressed into solid forms. Archaeologists have even uncovered pots of cheese buried with pharaohs, suggesting it was deemed important enough to accompany them into the afterlife. The Greeks, however, took cheese to another level. They celebrated it in their mythology, crediting Aristaeus, a son of Apollo, with its invention. Cheese was a staple of the Greek diet, enjoyed by both the wealthy and the working class. Feta, a salty, crumbly cheese made from sheep's or goat's milk, became synonymous with Greek cuisine and remains a beloved variety to this day. The Romans further refined cheese-making techniques, spreading them across their vast empire. They experimented with aging processes and introduced the use of molds to create distinctive flavors and textures. Roman soldiers carried cheese as a durable food source during campaigns, ensuring its place as a cornerstone of the Roman diet. The Romans' passion for cheese was so profound that they documented its varieties and methods in early culinary texts. Cheese's evolution didn't stop with the fall of the Roman Empire. During the Middle Ages, monasteries became the epicenters of cheese innovation. Monks in regions like Burgundy and Normandy in France, as well as the Swiss Alps, perfected recipes for some of the world's most iconic cheeses, including Brie, Roquefort, and Gruyere. These monasteries treated cheesemaking as both a science and an art, experimenting with aging, bacteria, and environmental factors to produce unique flavors. Cheese also took on symbolic meanings. In many European cultures, cheese represented abundance and prosperity. It was often included in feasts and festivals, celebrating life's milestones. Cheese platters became a centerpiece of gatherings, a tradition that endures to this day. The Industrial Revolution brought significant changes to cheese production. Mechanized processes allowed for mass production, making cheese more affordable and accessible. Innovations like pasteurization, introduced by Louis Pasteur in the 19th century, revolutionized food safety and opened the door to standardized cheese varieties. In America, cheese became a staple of the growing frontier. Cheddar, a favorite among settlers, gained prominence as an easily transportable and versatile cheese. Meanwhile, regions in Europe continued to produce artisanal cheeses, preserving centuries-old traditions even as the industrial era advanced. Today, cheese is a global phenomenon, with thousands of varieties catering to every taste and cuisine, from the nutty flavors of Parmesan to the creamy decadence of Camembert and the bold tang of blue cheeses. There's a cheese for every palate. Modern cheesemaking blends traditional methods with cutting-edge technology, ensuring quality and consistency while celebrating the art of craftsmanship. Cheese has also become a cultural ambassador, representing the heritage and identity of its region of origin. Protected designations like France's AOC, Appellation d'origine contrôlée, and Italy's DOP, Denominazione di origine protetta, ensure that iconic cheeses like Roquefort and Parmigiano Reggiano maintain their authenticity. What makes cheese truly remarkable is its versatility and adaptability. Whether it's a humble wedge of cheddar on a sandwich or a luxurious slice of truffle-infused brie at a dinner party, cheese has the power to elevate any meal. It's a food that transcends time and borders, connecting us to the ingenuity of our ancestors and the traditions they passed down. The next time you savor a bite of cheese, remember that you're part of a story that began thousands of years ago. A tale of discovery, innovation, and the enduring love for this accidental masterpiece. Cheese is more than food. It's history, culture, and a celebration of life's simple pleasures. From the ancient loaves of bread baked in Mesopotamia to the divine sweetness of honey, the nourishing simplicity of lentils, the celebratory charm of wine, and the accidental brilliance of cheese, these 5 foods tell a story of human resilience, creativity, and connection. Each bite, each sip, carries the legacy of civilizations long gone, connecting us to the very roots of our history. Why have these foods endured for thousands of years when so many others have faded into obscurity? The answer lies not just in their flavors, but in their ability to adapt and thrive across different cultures and eras. These foods are more than sustenance. They're a testament to human ingenuity and our deep relationship with the natural world. They've provided comfort in times of hardship, celebration in moments of triumph, and nourishment through every stage of human evolution. Bread, the staff of life, symbolizes sustenance and community, evolving from flatbreads to the countless varieties we enjoy today. Honey, nature's miracle, has remained a symbol of sweetness, healing, and divine connection. Lentils, with their unmatched versatility and nutritional power, continue to sustain populations worldwide. Wine, the elixir of celebration, bridges the sacred and the social, connecting us across centuries. And cheese, that delectable discovery, has brought richness and joy to meals for millennia. These foods are reminders of how far humanity has come. They showcase the creativity and resourcefulness of our ancestors, who transformed simple, raw ingredients into culinary masterpieces that continue to enrich our lives. They also teach us the value of tradition and the importance of preserving the stories, techniques, and cultures that make these foods so special. As we look to the future, these ancient foods inspire us to cherish our past while embracing innovation. Whether it's through sustainable farming practices, rediscovering ancient recipes, or simply enjoying a hearty meal, we honor the legacy of these foods every time we include them in our lives. So the next time you slice into a loaf of bread, drizzle honey on your dessert, savor a bowl of lentil soup, raise a glass of wine, or indulge in a piece of cheese, Take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey that brought these foods to your table. They are more than ingredients. They are history, culture, and a celebration of the human spirit. Let us know in the comments which of these stories surprised or inspired you the most. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating dives into the foods, traditions, and histories that shape our world. Thank you for joining us on this flavorful journey through time.